emanating from deep under the earth, spreading across the globe with the speed of thought, changing the world, one brain at a time. This is Last Call, the final order report from Green Brain Comics.
Howdy Brainiacs, it's time for Last Call, your one-stop preview for next month's best comics and your last chance to pre-order before the print runs are locked and loaded. I am Dan Merritt, Chief Purchasing Officer here at Green Brain Comics, and I'm here to give you the lowdown on what's hitting our shelves starting Wednesday, March 18th. And what you'll want to pre-order by this Sunday, February 22nd at midnight. The final order report and Green Brain Comics are proudly powered by Comichub. Check out Comichub online at comichub.com or grab the mobile app for Android and iPhone. Create an account or log into your existing one to order. Pay securely and make sure you never miss an issue. Today I'll be using Comichub to show you this week's Last Call for Confirms Orders Carousel. First, let me show you around. Behind the orange banner is anything that you may have aside for you in the store waiting for you to pay for and pick up or have us ship out. Behind the green banner is all the menus we will be looking at today. Let's click through there. From the top, we've got a general search. Below that, you can look at preview pages. And then there is the search arriving soon. That is everything that is on the list for this Wednesday, February 25th. And you can select out of there and have those things set aside in that menu for you. Below that is the search orders due Sunday. That's the last call menu. We will be using that in short order. But first, let me just scroll down, show you that you can also search events, manga, and collected editions. Okay, let's get back to Last Call. Click through there. Once we're in there, you see we can scroll top to bottom, and you've got alphanumeric filters here under the red buttons, and you've got drop downs for publisher, category, etc. I'm going to use a category right away because I want to filter just to comics. I only want to show periodicals today, and we've got a whole bunch of them to show you. So let's get right to it. Let me get out of this view. So let's get right to it. And the first thing we will be looking at today is Small Press Comics. And this segment is brought to you this week by Klezmageddon, the fantastic foursome that has put together the opening song for our program today. Thank you, Klezmageddon. You're swell. I like your vest. First thing we're going to show you in Small Press Comics is from Ahoy Comics. That is Babs, the Black Road South, number 3, 6-issue miniseries from Garth Ennis and Jason Burrows. And the second issue of a new series from Mad Cave, Barbarian Behind Bars, number 2 of 5. Something happened there. I was supposed to get number 1, but we never got it. So I'm going to try and correct that soon. In the meantime, look for Barbarian Behind Bars number 2. Our Soot-Stained Heart number 4 finishes off that mini-series from Bleeding Hearts artist Stepan Morian. And Racer X number 5 of 8 continues that series from Mark Russell and Nuno Platti. That is scheduled for March 18th. And I'll go into the view there where those dates pop up for you. How convenient. Moving over to Oni Press, we have Adventure Time number 11 with a Nick Wynn cover. This is part 3 of Handbook Heroes. EC Catacomb of Torment continues with more stories from Joe R. Lansdale. Look at that. That's pretty cool. and a terrifying Yannick Paquette cover. Available on March 18th. Yeah, that's the one. Also available on March 18th is the debut issue of the new series from Oni Press, Dead Teenagers. There's no escaping high school. Since 1997, 5 friends have been trapped in the ultimate nightmare as a mysterious entity forces them to relive their first prom night over and over again and re-kills them in new and increasingly insane ways each time. They dress up, they party, they make out, and no matter what they try to change, they always die. Until now. Something is about to break the cycle that has kept Alicia, JT, Ryder, Brandy, and their group of friends locked in a bizarre purgatory beyond all understanding. Hell is the 90s in this brash and brutal genre-distorted ode to the generation that gave us Scream and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. From writer Jude Ellison S. Doyle and artist Caitlin Yarsky doing interiors, very nice. Dead Teenagers #1 is scheduled to debut on March 18th with this A cover from Naomi Frank. A B cover from Kayla Valerio. C cover from interior artist Caitlin Yarsky. Oh, and by the way, I think we got our zoom back. Look at that. Ooh, we got a good zoom now. It's Dead Teenagers #1 from Oni Press. Moving over to Titan Publishing, we have Savage Sword of Conan #13. This is the return of the new classic team of Roy Thomas and Roberto De La Torre for a mesmerizing Conan tale. We even get some Solomon Kane in here. All kinds of cool covers, including this Alex Horley cover. Debuting from Titan on March 18th is this new series called Rafael Garcia Henchman. What if life in a supervillain organization was less like a James Bond movie and more like working at Walmart corporate? Rafael Garcia Henchman brings the old familiar tropes of a dark workplace comedy by way of a brand new cinematic superhero universe from Emmy Award-winning writer Peter Murrieta and writer-filmmaker David Schrader comes an action film that mixes the daily grind of the office with the slacker absurdity of Stripes. If the general in charge was more like Lex Luthor, it's Rafael Garcia Henchman #1, debuting on March 18th from David Schrader, Peter Murrieta, and interior artist Ben Herrera. We get an A cover from Kit Wallace. Again, look at this zoom. Look, ketchup. What is that? Orlando Oracina cover on B. Very nice. A Dan Mendoza double cover nude bagged variant. That's $10. And a full art variant from Kit Wallace. It's Rafael Garcia Henchman, available on March 18th. Get your special orders in for those variant covers. All right, moving on to Ignition Press, we get Arcadia #4 on April 1st. Deluge #5, also on April 1st. It's the big finale of that series. And also available on April 1st from Ignition Press, it is Extraction Beginnings. Well, it's Tyler Rake, Extraction Beginnings. In Comichub, it's just under Extraction Beginnings. All right, back to the dramatic reading. Experience the early days of Tyler Rake in this new prequel series debuting ahead of the new Extraction film on Netflix. Mercenary in hiding Tyler Rake thought he was starting over, but his story is just beginning. Working as a bouncer in one of Sao Paulo's most popular nightclubs, Tyler's world is about to be upended when a tussle with a connected drug dealer goes horribly wrong, forcing him to take on a job he never wanted in order to stay hidden. From original writer Andy Parks, who reunites with his best-known franchise Extraction, to exploring the early days of its star with artist Ronan Cliquette and colorist Rhonda Pattison, with an A cover from Declan Shelby, a B cover from Marco Santucci. Extraction's Tyler Rake, an Extraction story, available on April 1st. All right, moving on up to the mid-sized press, we got Boom Studios' Briar Knights Terror number 4. What's going on here? Nice enough. Something is killing the children continues, diving deeper into Erica Slaughter's past. And debuting from Boom Studios on April 8th, it's Neighborhood Watch. Dig into an all-new mind-bending thriller from Hugo Award-winning writer Sarah Gailey and fan-favorite artist Haining. Jill Hewitt, community leader and wife of a respected police officer, has turned up with a gunshot wound in a tunnel connecting the Willhaven gated community with the neighboring Open Arms Collective. And now the VP of the HOA and the kitchen steward of the collective have stumbled upon her body at the exact same time, instantly casting blame across the divide, forcing into an uneasy alliance to discover the truth. They'll need to work together to uncover the secrets both communities hold to figure out who's responsible for this crime. From Boom Studios, Sarah Galing, writing with interior art, and this A cover from Haining, who's been doing a lot of Absolute Flash variants. We get a B cover from Suspiria Vilche. That's pretty cool. Neighborhood Watch number 1 has a glow-in-the-dark flashlight variant featuring art from Jenny Frizen, and a regular version of that. I think the glow-in-the-dark version is $6.99. The regular version is $4.99. And we get an unlimited full art variant featuring this A cover art from Haining on Neighborhood Watch number 1. All right, moving on over to Dark Horse. We got American Caper number 5. This very popular series from Dan Houser. David Lapham continues with this B cover from Simon Bisley. That's pretty creepy looking. Devil on My Shoulder. This is a pretty extreme book. Kill All Immortals, Volume 2, Number 3, from Zach Kaplan, Fico Ocio. I think they just announced Volume 3 coming later this year. And Powers 25, Number 7, continues this multi-Eisner Award-winning series, featuring the original creators, Brian Michael Bendis, Michael Avon Oeming, who did this A cover. And Gru returns with this new miniseries, The Prophecy, with an A cover from Sergio Aragonés himself. And that's on what better fitting date than April 1st. And another series featuring mendicants. It's Magic the Gathering Untold Stories. This one features and focuses on Jace Beleren, who is the top most talented mind mage in the multiverse, a master of telepathy, illusion, and memory distortion. Jace's heroic feats are tainted by a duplicitous past that threatens to unravel him at any given moment. Deep dive into Jace's lost memories to uncover the manipulation by his mentor, Tezzeret. Oh, you're really getting in there. In pursuit of a dangerous magical artifact with the potential to reshape or destroy the multiverse as we know it. Written by Meisner Award-winning author Michael W. Conrad and illustrated by the talented Caitlin Yarsky. Ooh, we get another book from Caitlin Yarsky on the same FOC. It's Magic the Gathering Untold Stories Jace #1. This features an A cover from interior artist Caitlin Yarsky, a B cover from Francesco Francavilla. There's no potential way that this is available on February 4th. Let me see if I can get an actual date here. That looks like April 1st. That seems a lot more reasonable. Magic the Gathering also has a C cover from Alex Gumares. Magic the Gathering Untold Stories Jace #1, April 1st. Moving over to IDW, it's an all-out monster attack. Kaiju are appearing across the country and causing never-before-seen levels of damage in Godzilla Kaisei Era #9. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Casey Jones #6. Interior artist doing the cover, Amin K. Noelpon. And the 5th and epic finale issue to the most radical crossover of the year. The Turtles have harnessed the power of the kaiju to face off against Shredder's Mechagodzilla-inspired upgraded suit. It's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossing over with Godzilla, available on April 1st. Looks like coming up on March 18th is the next issue of Dynamite's Lion King #3. Also Vampirella Armageddon #9. As well as Muppets Noir #2, continuing this fantastic new series from Roger Langridge. I just sold out, but we got more copies coming. And debuting from Dynamite Entertainment on, what's the day? March 18th. It's Thundercats crossing over with Silverhawks. This is the Road to War one-shot. The countdown to catastrophe begins here in this special 40-page one-shot. Acclaimed author Ed Brisson and artist Elton Tomasi and Alice Leclerc bring readers 3 special tales that set the stages for a cataclysmic crossover event to come. That's right, this new series from Ed Brisson drops on March 18th with an A cover by Sebastian Perez, a B cover from Megan Hetrick, Fabio Faila. Also gets a Road to War Declan Shelby logo variant, an animation art variant, and a premium mystery blind bag variant. These are $19.84. I'd be happy to special order these for you, but they will not be available for the shelf. If you're interested, please get your order by this Sunday at midnight. Yeah, Thundercats. Silverhawks, Road to War. All right, that does it for the small press. Next, we will focus on Image Comics on Last Call this weekend. But before I do, I just want to bring your attention to our next regular Brain Candy event. This is episode 76, tentatively featuring the poet Yasmin Rukia, the prose from Ryan Becker, music from our good friend Drew Pineda, and the visual art of Mary Vorvez. It's Brain Candy number 76, presented for no charge inside Green Brain Comics on the third Monday of the month. It's Monday, March 16th at 7 p.m. Brain Candy. All right, let's move right into Image Comics. On FOC this week is Darkness number 4 with a cover by Raymond Gay, who does interiors, and a D cover from Ed Bennis in the Invincible Team-Up variant theme, which I'll show you a few more of those coming up real soon. Exquisite Corpses number 11 continues this 13-issue Volume 1 series that also has an Invincible Team-Up variant by Michael Walsh. Geiger number 22, Gary Frank cover, and a Gary Frank Invincible variant. Ghost Pepper number 9, very nice cover by Ludo Lullaby. I like the textures, so good. And the Invincible Team-Up variant by Ludo Lullaby also. I like how the main protagonist of the main book that this is a variant for is just getting beat down by invincible characters. They all have to suffer. Sorry. Part of being an Image. G.I. Joe number 1 gets a 6th printing for this series premiere. This has a new cover by Sean Isaacs. G.I. Joe also gets a new issue on FOC this week featuring or continuing the story where Optimus Prime and Duke meet for the first time, from Joshua Williamson, Andrea Milana, and a cover from Thomas Riley. And a Tom Riley Invincible Team-Up variant. Lucky Devils number 7 is back on the Last Call list with a B cover from Jim Rugg. Deadly Tales of Gunslinger Spawn drops on March 18th, along with Spawn Rat City 23 and Spawn Salmon Twitch Case Files 22, with their special Christmas and Spring variant. The Thing on the Doorstep with its second issue March 18th. And Transformers gets a second printing for number 7, which is the first issue of the second story arc from Daniel Warren Johnson and Jorge Corona. We also get a third printing of Transformers 19, new cover from Dustin Nguyen. And a new cover from Jason Howard on the second printing of Transformers 23. Walking Dead Deluxe continues with 133 and a new David Finch cover. Pretty. Spitty. And from Image Comics, we get the penultimate issue of Wrestle Heist from Kyle Starks. All right, folks, just a heads up. Dork number 1 gets a third printing. We are cutting off orders for the second print. That is all reserved, and hopefully we get all those filled. In the meantime, a third printing is on FOC this week, scheduled for on-sale date of March 18th. And the other big immediate sellout that we had from this week was White Sky number 1. This is already reaching pretty high prices on eBay, and you can get on the ground floor of a second printing going to print on Monday. Get those orders in soon. All right. Leading and headlining Image Comics this week is the return of Invincible Universe's Battle Beast, preceded by a bunch of new printings, a 6th printing of number 1, a 3rd printing of number 4 with an outstanding Jeff Darrow cover. Look at this weird looking insect. It's got arm tongues. Good times, good times. And we get a 2nd printing of number 5. Looks like a Ryan Ottley cover. No, it's a Jason Howard cover. Another Jason Howard cover on 2nd print of number 6. And then the new story arc continues on March 18th from the biggest series of 2025, returning from Robert Kirkman, Ryan Ottley, and colorist Annalisa Leone. Battle Beast continues his quest to find the one being who can defeat him in battle and end his life. But the Viltrumites are looming. Yeah, they are. It's Invincible Universe Battle Beast number 7. We get all kinds of superstar covers. We got an A cover from Ryan Ottley, who does interiors. A B cover from the man, Todd McFarlane himself. Let's see how well he draws spit. There's barely any spit on this cover. Here we go. Nope, that's not it. Okay, here we go. Invincible Universe's Battle Beast number 7 also has this Invincible team-up variant from Ryan Ottley. It's Invincible Universe Battle Beast number 7, March 18th. And that does it for Image Comics on Last Call this weekend. We'll move right on over into Last Call for Marvel Comics this week, presented by our friends at the Senate Theater, who don't have any public films going on this weekend, but the following weekend they cap off Black History Month in style with a couple of fantastic movies for you to check out, including Friday night, February 27th at 8 p.m. It's a film by Jim Jarmusch. It's Ghost Dog, featuring Forrest Whitaker. And the following night, Wesley Snipes is Blade, the original Blade movie. I think it's like 40 years old now. It's some ridiculous, I don't know, 35. It's crazy old. Saturday, February 28th, 8 p.m. at Senate Theater. Check out senatetheater.com for more information. Moving on into Image Comics, Cyclops number 1 gets a slightly recolored cover by Federico Vincentini, and the 2nd printing. Deadly Hands of Kunlun number 2, Lionel Yu cover. Dungeons of Doom number 3. Fantastic Four number 9, the Galactus faces the malice of the Invincible Woman. This has been a pretty intense series from Ryan North and Humberto Ramos. Generation X23 continues in a 2nd issue with this very cool variant by Maria Wolf. I love the backgrounds on this. That muted blue. Yeah, good times. Inglorious X-Force number 3. Iron Man number 3. And we also get this MODOK variant because MODOK is awesome. There's the spit. This, cover by Jose Maria Casanovas, will be available on March 25th. Want to ensure your copy? Make sure to get your order in by the end of Sunday. Null number 3. Mark Spector, Moon Knight #1 gets a second printing with a Ryan Stegman cover. Marvel Knights Punisher #4. Something's wrong with that date. That looks like March 25th. We'll call it March 25th. New Avengers #10. I'm pretty sure this is the final issue of that series from Sam Humphries, Tone Lima, Steven Segovia cover. Predator Bloodshed #2 continues with a second issue. We're getting #1 this Wednesday. Psylocke Ninja #3, Derek Chew cover. Punisher #2, March 25th. We're still waiting on #1. And Rogue #3, Derek Chew variant. Eyes up, son. Psy Dimensional Rivals, Peach Momoko. Also a Peach Momoko cover for Ultimate Endgame #2, second print. And the Ultimate Endgame continues in #3 with a Mark Brooks cover on A. And we get a Pete Woods Doom homage variant for Uncanny X-Men #25. I kind of dig this one. Looks pretty cool. Wiccan Witches Road #4 continues on March 18th. And on March 25th, Wolverine Weapons of Armageddon #2. Debuting on April 8th from Jordan Morris and Ramon Rosanas, it's the even aller newer Venom. This is an even newer symbiote wearing hero on the scene, sporting the red and blue Spidey inspired look on the streets of Earth 616. But it's not Mary Jane Watson, and it's not Peter Parker, but it is someone that Peter Parker knows very well, someone both he and Spider-Man have had many encounters with, someone looking to use this new web-slinging identity to make their much deserved comeback. The saga of the new fan favorite red and blue alien costume takes the whole new turn, kicking up a classic Spider character in a whole new direction that they have no intention of giving up, with an A cover from Stefano Caselli, riffing off that classic Charles Vess cover from Web of Spider-Man #1. Artist homage from Adam Gorham. Nitho Diaz. Peach Momoko. And Perry Perez. We get a Scotty Young cover for Web of Venom #1, debuting on April 8th. And finally, from Marvel Comics, debuting on March 4th. No, this needs correcting. It's March 25th. It's Fantastic Four First Foes #1 from the world of the cinematic masterpiece, return to the universe of the legendary film in the first of a series of specials on Earth 828, pardon me. A cosmic mishap has transformed 4 brave astronauts into the world's champions and protectors. They are the Fantastic Four, but one person isn't happy about things. He's known as the Mad Thinker, and he's determined to get his proper due by turning the city of tomorrow against its heroic patrons. It's Fantastic Four First Foes #1. This one shot is written by Dan Slott with interior art by Mark Buckingham with an A cover from Phil Noto. Very nice A cover by Phil Noto. Carrie Andrews on B. Phil Noto doing another cover on this one. Classic riff on the Jack Kirby cover. It's Fantastic Four First Foes, March 25th. And that does it for Marvel Comics for this week on FOC. And this one's going to be a big one, folks. There's a bunch of debuts and a bunch of new stories in store for you on the last call list for DC Comics this week, which is brought to you by our other YouTube program. It's BRAINSCAN. You can join us live every Tuesday at 6:30 right here on YouTube. Join your host Katie Merritt as she takes you on a tour of Green Brain Comics on the eve of New Comic Book Day. We show you all the art, all the cool stuff that hits the shelf, and then we update you on all the other stuff. Join the chat. We got a pretty active crew in the chat room. Watch the archive. We got years of it. We're in season 10, episode 8. It's BRAINSCAN. Okay, moving on. From DC Comics, it's Absolute Flash number 13 with a C cardstock cover by Fabrizio Di Tommaso. I think the other covers are up by now, but there you are. March 18th. Batman, Superman, World's Finest, number 49. Doesn't start a new story, but it's got the new branding. We do, however, get a facsimile edition of the second part of Batman Year 2, featuring an iconic cover by Todd McFarlane, along with interiors by Todd McFarlane himself. Green Lantern number 3 has a special early FOC for this glow-in-the-dark variant for the Legacy issue 600. The rest of the covers will be on Last Call next week. If you're interested in this cover, it is $8.99. I will probably get a few for the shelf, but don't leave it up to chance. You might want a special order. Wonder Woman number 1 gets a facsimile edition with a classic cover from Harry Peter, and that's also available in a foil version. Yes, March 18th. On Last Call this weekend is a second printing for the Vertigo debut of Bleeding Hearts from Dennis Camp and Stepan Morian. That will be available on March 18th. I think we still got copies of the regular cover of first printing, but yeah, if you're interested. We'll also be ordering the Nick Dragotta cardstock variant for that second printing. End of Life continues this new series from Kyle Starks and Steve Pugh on March 18th. And a special little reminder that Mad Magazine is still in print and issue 49 drops on April 8th. She's back. Selena Kyle's blood-soaked international tour has come to an end. Finally home in Gotham City, she discovers things have changed in her absence, and she'll have to learn how to survive the new status quo amid these changes. One constant remains: a very powerful enemy has been waiting her turn, and he won't remain masked any longer. It's Catwoman number 85, kicking off a brand new story called Selena's Gotham Homecoming from Torren Gronbeck, David Gianfelice on interiors, and an A cover from Sebastian Fiumara. Frank Cho, Mahmoud Asrar, W. Scott Forbes, Leslie Lyrics Lee on the Women's History Month covers, a symbol cardstock variant, and a Jorge Jimenez corner box spot variant. Beautiful. It's Catwoman number 85. A brand new story drops on March 18th. Also debuting a brand new story starting here with Nightwing 136. Bloodhaven's haunted past could destroy its future as Dennis Cowan joins writer Dan Waters. A new era begins here for Bloodhaven and its hero. The city's new superhighway was meant to be its lifeline, but has instead become a hotbed of strange and violent incidents. Nightwing's investigation into this haunted road drives him towards a tragedy from which he may never recover, and sends him looking for answers in Bloodhaven's tragic past. Superstar artist Dennis Cowan joins ongoing writer Dan Waters for a supernatural noir tale of urban folklore in a city where the unavenged dead will stay silent no longer. With an A cover by Jorge Fornes. Jeff Spokes on the cardstock variants. Kicking off the cardstock variants, Jay Lee on C. A symbol cardstock variant, Jorge Jimenez corner box spot foil variant. All for Nightwing 136 kicking off the Crossroads. There it is. Superman Unlimited also kicks off the future of John Kent. The final moments of John Kent. What's worse than a fifth dimensional imp? A fourth dimensional demon. John Kent faces off against his greatest archenemy, a time-bending foe who's attacking him years before they've ever met. Witness the final moments of John Kent. Superman. Also in this issue, Superboy. No, really, wait, what? Yeah, you'd better not miss this one. Call your retailer now, reserve your copy. Don't wait, go call now. This is a pretty cool solicit copy. It's Superman Unlimited #1, debuting on March 18th with this new story, The Future of John Kent, written by Dan Slott with interior art by Lucas Mayer and an A cover from Dan Mora, B cover from Bruno Redondo, Rakta Lin, Lucio Perillo, the symbol cardstock variant, and the Skylar Patridge corner box spot foil variant. Oh, that's right, one more. The Reign of the Superboys connecting cardstock variant from Aiko. Superman Unlimited, #11. The all-new lineup. It all starts here in Titans #33, now called The New Titans, or soon to be called New Titans in Comichub. Who are the New Titans? After helping save the world from yet another world-ending event, the Titans have earned some much-deserved rest. Back in Titan's Tower, they're glad to be reunited again, but it almost seems too good to be true. Are these Titans who they claim to be? And if they can't trust each other, can they trust themselves? Tate Bromble and Sammy Basri kick off a brand new era for the next generation of superheroes in this New Titans #33 with an A cover from Torrin Clark. Sorry about the fast flipping, folks. They just got so many variants on these. Stephen Byrne, very nice. Ethan Young. Leslie Lyrics Lee on the Women's History Month variant. A symbol cardstock variant. And a Sammy Basri corner box spot foil variant for the New Titans #33, Tate Bromble, Sammy Basri, March 18th. Another new storyline in Wonder Woman. The Wonder War starts here. The matriarch commences her crusade to rule over the DC Universe as heroes and villains alike fall to her insurmountable power. Wonder Woman and her daughter, Trinity, must unite to save all they hold dear. Time's up for the Princess of Themyscira, and the Queen of America will not rest until they bow to her will. The Eisner-nominated creative duo of Tom King and Daniel Sampere are back for the most riveting installment of their Wonder Woman epic yet. Wonder Woman 31 kicks off the Wonder Wars with this A cover from Daniel Sampere. David Nakayama on B. This looks like a Dan Mora cover, even though it says Joshua Middleton. Mattia DeJulius. Leslie Lyrics Lee on the Women's History Month cover. A cardstock variant. And a corner box spot foil variant. Wonder Woman number 31. Wonder War starts here. All right. Now, as we enter the last segment of DC Comics, we are going to review the 3 brand new series debuting this spring from DC's Next Level initiative. The first one is, that's right, you guessed it, it's Batwoman. Eisner Award-winning Greg Rucka and visionary artist Danny bring on the next level for Batwoman. Daughter, sister, soldier, hero. But since she was 10 years old, Kate Kane has lived in the shadow of a prophecy and the machinations of a religion devoted to the end of all things. How do you fight the devil when the devil is real? And how do you win? Acclaimed writer and co-creator of the modern Batwoman, Greg Rucka, returns to the story of Kate Kane alongside visionary artist Danny for a DC Next Level series that will redefine Batwoman and her mission for a new generation, featuring an A cover and releasing on March 18th from interior artist Danny. We get a Steven Sejic cover on the first of the cardstock variants. Stanley Art Germ Lau. Jorge Corona. We got a Stanley Art Germ Lau foil variant for $6.99. All for Batwoman number 1 debuting on March 18th. The second of 3 books on FOC and debuting on March 18th is Deathstroke the Terminator. The world's deadliest assassin hits the next level with Tony Fleeks and Carmine Di Giandomenico. Soldier turned superhuman assassin for hire, Slade Wilson has made hundreds of enemies in his day, and now one of them is taking his world apart piece by piece. The hit is out on Deathstroke, and he evolves into his purest form. A Terminator out for revenge and ready to kill anyone who stands in his way. Yeah. Prepare for brutal violence with over-the-top action and intrigue from the twisted mind of writer Tony Fleeks and pulse-pounding art by Carmine Di Giandomenico. It's DC's contract-killing boogeyman, and he's back and bloodier than ever in Deathstroke the Terminator, available on March 18th. This A cover supplied by interior artist Carmine Di Giandomenico. Got a Dan Panosian on the first cardstock variant. Kyong Yom, that looks pretty bloody. A Jorge Corona variant. A Dan Panosian foil, available on March 18th. Deathstroke the Terminator, number 1. And finally, from DC Comics, it's Lobo number 1. Scotty Young and Jorge Corona take the main man to the next level. Yeah. The main man's back, baby. And his ride is a motorcycle that moves at the speed of sound, but only if that sound is a ripping guitar solo. And you better hop on before he moves. Before he leaves you in a pot, and you better hop on before he leaves you in the dust with all the bastages he's fragged for money or convenience. The Eisner-nominated creative team that brought you the fantastic parable of adolescence in the Midwest. The story of an artist who embraces darkness a little too closely, and the tale of a gunslinger with too much grit to stay buried brings you a classic yarn spun in the star-kissed threads of the cosmic DC universe. It's a gut-soaked path from DCKO to the end of the universe, where Lobo is going to scratch his name and number in the source wall with a cool knife. Don't miss the mayhem, special guests, or tasty continuity. Don't you do it. It's Lobo #1, available on March 18th from Scotty Young, Jorge Corona, who did this A cover. Cardstock variants by Lee Bermejo. Kyong Yom. Oh, look at the pretty doggy. He needs some chapstick. Jorge Corona Next Level cardstock variant. And a Lee Bermejo foil variant that comes in at $6.99. Available on March 18th. It's Lobo #1 from DC's Next Level Initiative. And that, folks, does it for DC Comics. And that wraps up this episode of Last Call for this week. I'd like to thank you for joining me, and I'd like to remind you to, let's see, all these comics are on Last Call this weekend. You've got until Sunday at midnight, February 22nd, to lock in your pre-orders for these and many, many more. Make sure to send and confirm these items in your Comichub cart before the deadline. Yes. Thanks for tuning into the Final Order Report. Stay up to date on all of our happenings. We are at Green Brain Comics on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. All the links you need for our shopping cart, website, and Comichub are right below in the description. We are spreading the love of comics and graphic novels from the heart of East Downtown Dearborn since 1985. Feed your brain at Green Brain Comics. Thanks for watching, folks.
Emanating from deep under the earth, spreading across the globe with the speed of thought, changing the world, one brain at a time. This is Last Call, the Final Order Report from Green Brain Comics.